Hello and welcome to another episode of The Person Behind the Pen. Oh my goodness. So I took last week off. Unfortunately, I lost my little puppy of 16 years. It's a time of healing right now, and I just want to thank my community for giving me grace and everyone for rescheduling last week's appointments. So, I'm looking at the Legacy trailer and, thinking, listen, I have put out 2 Legacy books now, and one is here behind me. Okay, you can't see it because it's on that side. But needless to say, I need to run a new trailer because I got to run the one on the original, the flagship book, which was a note to my family, I'm your legacy. So we are in a very unique spot today. Willie J wrote in the flagship book for Legacy. So that's this one here, a note to my family. Oh my goodness, I can't stand these things here. So if you could see the back of the book at all, okay, there you go. So this is the one that started it all. And did not know that this would run into something that people would want to continue participating in. And so it rolled into 2024, a message to my family. And of course, 2025 is gathering momentum. We have already 6 or 8 spots, I think, filled. And no doubt, this is just something that will always need to be spoken about. And I'm curious to hear from Willie because this was December 2023. Now we are in 2025. And as every day goes by, we keep adding to our legacy, right? So I'm sure he's got a lot more he wants to tell us, baby girl, and bring us up to speed on what's going on. So before we jump into any more, I do want to make sure I say hello to everybody that's coming in. It is so great to see you. And Jackie, great to see you. Thank you so much. Jackie is a co-author in the Legacy 2024 Message to My Family. And Sandra just joined us. Sandra is going to be an author in the upcoming anthology, We Choose to Be More Than Our Diagnoses. She also just released her #1 international best-selling book, Unmuting Myself, Voice Silenced by Doubt, Dare to Rise. And she has hit in a number of categories in a number of countries. I encourage you to go buy her book. It is quite something to read. And I had the pleasure of designing the book cover as well. So we also want to say hi to Timothy Gleason, our brother from down under in Australia. Timothy was also a writer in the flagship book, right alongside Billy and myself. And can't wait to get him up here to do a reading. I'm pretty sure it's pretty late where you are right now, and you're here, bro. So appreciate that so much. Trini girl, Lisa Favick in the house. All right. So party start, right? All right. Sharon Byrne, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. And Sharon is also a co-author in Legacy Chronicles. This one, the 2024, A Message to My Family. So if you're out there, you got to tell me that you're out there. Otherwise, I am not going to be able to acknowledge you and say hello. And I don't even know where to start at introducing this guy. Like, I don't. So I had the honor of co-authoring with him um, in Rattle the Week. And, just you talk about one of those people that you meet that just within 2 minutes of knowing them, they just put you at ease. Like you just feel so casual, like laid back. Let's just smile, let's just talk, let's just laugh, let's just go with the flow. Go with the flow. So I don't know what's going on these days. That might have been updated since, because that's the thing, right? And with all of us co-authors, now 62 in all these books, life's happening. We're spinning wheels, we're moving, we're doing our things. And we connect, we pull apart, we connect, and that's what I love about working on a project together. You're always going to be a part of each other's circle, even when there's the closer ones or the outer ones, they come back closer again. And this moment, I am so happy to embrace Willie, embrace his story. He is, by God, just taking a rocket to the moon. So before we jump on, Melissa, hello, Felipe, hello, and David, hello. I see you guys. Texas in the house. Thank you so much, David. All right, so 11-time best-selling author. What? Okay, so I think I'm at about that now too. And that's crazy because when we started, we were like just starting, right? And here we are now. And that just tells you, you share one, you got to share it all. And like, if all these stories weren't shared, like all these people up in here right now, the majority have shared stories. And I hope that everybody else that's joining will come to understand the importance of that too. Okay, I had to write this down because I was like, I'm not going to remember this. Featured in Forbes, GQ, MTV Weekly. There's a whole bunch more. 179,000 followers on Instagram. What? All right, yes, I'm just saying. And Magnetized Media. This book just came out too with Willie J and Steve Kidd. I gotta get my copy. Like, that's on the list of copies of stuff. I like to sit down on the weekend and grab my stuff, trying to like get myself all mixed up with like my publishing work. So I am gonna get Willie up here. Willie's gonna like introduce himself, do this reading for us, and just yeah. Can you just bring on some Willie, man? Oh, yeah.
Salute, sister. How are
How
you
are
today?
you? How are you?
Great to be here. Thank you for the amazing introduction as well. So
Of course, I owe you big time. I sent
it's
this poor guy the link for Thursday's show that Felipe is going to be on. And I'm like, I'm here. He's like, I'm here too. I'm like, where are you? I'm like, oh my
Mm.
God. Just, yeah. You
It
know,
happens.
welcome to this world of entrepreneurship. It's like 3 months right now for me.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I wouldn't lie. This ain't no joke. I knew this. I mean I knew of it, but when you're
Yeah.
in it, oh, big
Absolutely. No
difference. But
doubt. No
you
doubt.
add that LLC to the end of that, and it
Ooh,
changes everything,
everything. No
right?
doubts. Absolutely.
Oh
It
gosh,
comes with so much, doesn't it?
it does. But you know what? A lot of good too. A lot of good. So listen,
That's
just
true.
go. Just you. This is all you. What are you up to? What do you want? I mean, you got your fans out there saying hi. Let me
Hey,
throw some of these
hello.
up.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Timothy, everybody. Um, it's an honor to be here again. It's been a lot to transpire since we've done A Note to My Family Legacy. I enjoyed that book immensely. And I heard you use one of my favorite coins of phrase earlier, growing with the flow, grow with the flow. In terms of entrepreneurship, you definitely have to be willing to grow with the flow, right? You know, it's that type of journey, and
Yeah.
that's why we believe in leveraging every moment, whether it be good or bad. Because, and I heard you say, yeah, there's some good, but I think the good outweighs the bad. Why? Because we get to empower so many people, and we get to create hope, right? I'm the
Yeah.
CEO of Trimmers.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we do.
And that's something you can't take away from people. Like
Yeah,
hope is something you cannot allow somebody to rob you of,
yeah,
right? And
hmm
this started with us at 23. And
yeah.
since then, there's been a tremendous amount of growth for you and some for
Wow,
myself too.
wow,
So, you know,
wow.
and that's holding on to the feast. That's knowing I know where I'm going. I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm just gonna keep stepping. Even if there ain't a step there, I'm stepping.
Oh
And
my goodness. That's it.
right,
Just keep taking action, right? Gaining traction and attraction
for
will
real, for real.
just comes. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
listen, whenever you're ready to kick off, I shared the backstage link for anybody that wants to come up here and talk to Willie. It's in
All
the
right.
comments
Come on.
of
Yeah.
the most recent post on my wall. And Willie, whenever you want to take it away and you want to start reading, it's all you.
Mm,
Um,
wow.
you,
It's
you
amazing. On my last day here was my topic, and I recall you telling me prior to the book, that's actually I didn't know it had that much traction. I know it was successful, but I saw a post recently about the most recent analytics behind the book, and I think that's amazing.
yeah,
Legacy, right? Every day is legacy. We're rewriting a new story every day, and the beauty of it is, we get to share it and we get to compound the content of our story. We get to reinvent and redefine ourselves and take advantage of time, which is opportunity. So I want to
hmm,
get into this. And, I kind of had a little sneak peek, into the chapter because I hadn't read it in a while. It's definitely amongst my other books, the 11 number one international bestsellers we have. And I picked it up again and it was so refreshing. My dad was so elated to be mentioned in this chapter. He bragged about it in KC, Seattle, all over the country as he travels. He's a pastor, and he was just touched. That's the beauty of legacy. We get to pass it on. But I'm going to get into this reading, so I hope you can hear me clearly. And we're going to dive right into it. A note to my family. And
excellent.
on my last day here, right, here we go. Dear family, have you found yourself grappling with the tendency to delay tasks that could be accomplished today, opting to defer them to another day? Perhaps you've experienced consistent procrastination in launching your most fervent projects, inventive ideas, and meaningful relationships. At times, our most significant self deception lies in the belief that we'll always have ample time to alter our circumstances. We subconsciously assume that the next best moment is guaranteed and that it will always be here waiting for us, knocking loudly on tomorrow's doors. Why, it is no secret at all that this life can be so very unpredictable at times, quite similar to riding a new roller coaster ride for the first time and not knowing the full outcome of the overall experience. Which is why each moment that I am blessed to be alive is considered to be a new gift from the heavens above. It is a rare golden moment that I cherish, and I like to call it my present. A brand new gift wrapped opportunity to grow forward and another chance to take full advantage of my current situations and circumstances. I like to call this moment the power of my now. Yeah. The word now, when spelled backwards, you actually left with the amazing word one, meaning that if you are still alive today and breathing well and still trying to move forward, you have already won half of the great battles ahead. However, the real truth of the matter is that now none of us are actually promised to see another tomorrow, for it is uncertain. And it sort of reminds me of a great quote made by the legendary Eleanor Roosevelt that says, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. It is the most precious gift that can be taken away from us at any given moment. The gift of time, which is also the gift of opportunity and the unforeseen chance to grow every day like it is our last one. Why? Simply because you may not get another chance to grow again tomorrow. Life is like a relay race. Back in elementary school, one of my absolute favorite classes was what we casually referred to as gym or PE. It was all about engaging in fun exercises centered around different sports and physical activities. Now, there's no doubt at all that music has always been my most passionate thing to do in life. But I also grew up as an athlete playing for some basketball teams and football teams. And from what they tell me, I was pretty decent at it too. I mean, why toot my own horn when others can do that for me, right? LOL. Hey, humility is the key. Meanwhile, there was another sport in particular that I came to enjoy very much as well, and that was called relay racing. Okay, now let's determine and define what a relay race actually is. It is an event where a team of multiple athletes run equal determined distances in a sprint race, each passing a baton to the next person in line to continue the race at a great pace running forward. Nothing that each runner that's involved plays a very significant role and must run their individual courses successfully in hopes of winning the overall race. I guess it's safe to say that from the very moment we are born into this world, our growth cycle and journey for life begins. Then at some point, I began to realize that we were not just crawling, walking, pressing, and running for ourselves, but we were actually doing it to put others in a better position as well. It is always bigger than me. And I've come to understand that life is all about leaving a good legacy. So we run as fast as we can for our children, our families, our teams, and for all of the generations who are coming behind us growing forward. January 26, 2020. It was on my beautiful daughter's 14th birthday when I had received some of the most tragic news ever. When I would be told that the legendary Kobe Bryant, along with his beautiful daughter Gigi, had passed away in a fatal helicopter crash, and boy, was I not totally devastated by this like everyone else. For the simple fact that this nightmare occurred on the same day of my daughter's 14th birthday celebration. Then for the mere fact that Kobe had always been my favorite basketball player since entering into the NBA league. I mean, after all, we were both loving fathers and we both had been born in the same year of 1978, for Christ's sake. Man, I was so floored beyond disbelief because I just could not believe that any of this was actually happening in real time. All I could really do was pray for all of those hurting families and for all of those poor victims involved in this terrible tragedy. Rest in peace. Fast forward 2 years, and I received a fantastic call from ABC 30 TV for an interview with my good friend Cardinal Cowboy. It turns out that he was featuring me in my most prominent music videos on this live TV show. The showcased charity based hits include We Love You Puerto Rico, featuring various artists, and In the Morning, a COVID 19 dedication anthem. But what I found so ironic about all of this was that they called me in to tape the show on the same date of Kobe and Gigi's tragic passing, leaving me knee deep in shock that this was also happening on my daughter's sweet 16 birthday, January 20th, 2022. However, I can clearly remember giving her a shout out on for her birthday along with everyone else while wearing a custom made Kobe Bryant jacket on the set as a heartfelt tribute. Boy, talking about having an eerie feeling and being totally gone with the wind. I sincerely believe, though, that we all have the human tendency of taking our precious moments in life for granted. We often put off what we can do today for another tomorrow, just hoping that we will get another chance and opportunity to grow further. We subconsciously set up our alarm clocks, we create our schedules, we game plan our future goals, just knowing that we will get to experience another beautiful day, which is why I tend to value my time as a new gift of opportunity. That's right. My time is my opportunity, and I can't afford to waste any of it on nonsense. To waste my time is literally to waste my opportunity, and our opportunities will only knock at the door for so long. So let us always remember to take immediate action, gain traction, then gain the necessary attraction later on for living our best lives in blissful abundance. Then to fearlessly go for that dream, go for that job, go for that goal, and go for that business while you still have the rare chance in doing so. Lastly, I would like to dedicate this entire chapter to my real family who have always supported me through thick and thin, who always remained loyal to me, both in my good times and in my bad times. I really do appreciate those of you who have rejoiced with me over the years, and I am eternally grateful to the ones who have never changed on me, who only celebrated me and prayed for me and my company's rise to that success and global impact. You know who you are. I do this for you, especially for you, Jasmine B. Jones. It was beyond amazing making history with you on numerous occasions. Without a shadow of doubt, collaborating with you has always been a dream come true. And to know that we actually helped to spark change in the world together causes my heart to skip a new beat. However, I would like for you to understand that all of the number ones, the major achievements and top honors are all laid out here for you to carry on the torch of my legacy, baby girl. You got this. Just keep on moving forward fast and know that I am so proud of the beautiful young lady that you have become. I love you so much. And Dad, thank you immensely for teaching me the value of fasting and prayer. To my PME family, I want you all to know that I genuinely love and appreciate each one of you. Your unwavering love, consistency, and support for my vision and mission have played an intricate, crucial role in bringing me to this point. As I bid farewell on my last day here, let's raise a toast and banish any fears. I've reached the other side and it's all good living here. So let's celebrate and have a great time together. Cheers. On my last day here.
Wow. You know, we've said this before when we
Yeah,
do this, right?
yeah,
It takes on a whole different meaning when you hear the writer read their words, read
yeah.
their story, than picking up the book and reading it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, for you to read it, for you to have someone read it to you, but for you to be the one
Oh
to
man.
read it. You know,
It's
this is what you're getting there. Stunning,
mm,
Willie.
thank you.
I
Thank you.
love that chapter.
Thank you so much. I
So great
appreciate
to hear
that.
you read your own story.
Oh wow.
And I know it's like I knew in my heart this is something I wanted to do. And like even when you talk about missing opportunities and taking that chance, like this if you see the stripe here, this is
Yeah.
the what do you call it? The author copybook, right? For me to look at it before we published.
Yeah.
And to feel this in my hand for the very first time, the very first book, and now to say, shoot, 23, 20, less than 2 years later, be
Wow.
like, I'm going to start a publishing company, right? Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is the opportunities. This is the building that legacy. This is the thankfulness for the people
Yeah.
who have always seen you for who you were, I believed
Absolutely.
you, I loved you.
Yeah.
And these are the words that last day you're letting them know that you're leaving in gratitude for them and
Yeah.
that you're on the other side and you're good. And I
Mm.
think that that's something a lot of people who are left behind, they wonder, right?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's like the
Yeah.
writer saying, I accept my time and I
Yes.
did what I had to do in my time on this earth and I am done.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
like,
Absolutely.
how do you feel now? I mean, like, having read this after so much time, like, for me, when I go back and read my first one or two chapters compared to like the 10th and 11th, I see the growth in me as a writer. Now, it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
what I wrote was any less important. It's just my
Absolutely.
ability to express myself has grown. What about
Yes.
you?
Same here. It's so surreal, and yes, you do. Like each book, you see the progress and the growth, which we should always be growing into our best versions of ourselves. And if you kind of rewind back just maybe a minute or two, you can kind of hear me getting a little emotional a little bit as I've read because it was so surreal and everything was, I kind of relive those experiences and I thought that conceptual idea that you came up with for this book was just masterful and profound, very prolific. And yes, it's timeless. That's what comes to mind.
It is.
Timelessness, ageless. Yeah,
It
it
is
really
timeless.
is.
And the thing
Yeah,
is, everybody's going to leave a legacy, whether or not they leave it in print is,
yeah,
up to them.
yeah.
But something is staying behind. Your footprint staying behind. Your memory staying stamped on somebody somewhere that you may never have even met. And
Absolutely.
the legacy keeps building, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
now, if you were to turn around and write in this next one, you have 2 more years of legacy under your belt to add,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right? So,
Yes. Yes.
just want to let everyone know the link to join backstage and come up here and ask questions, talk to Willie, just give him kudos. It's in the comments of the
Come on.
most recent post. He's like, come on up here. And it's also shared
Okay.
because there's a group, right, that I have had for every single book.
It's awesome.
The backstage link is also shared in there. This is an opportunity for all co-authors, all 62 of
That's
us
awesome.
to get up here and do this.
Yeah.
Um, so your girl is how old now? 18? No,
19.
19. 19.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Started college, doing great, made the dean's
Oh, good
list.
for
She's
her.
she's doing amazing. Yeah.
Good
She's a
job.
young
Good
lady
job.
now. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, is
Yeah.
she following in your footsteps? Like, is she, into what you're into? Is she,
More of she's she's kind of like a toe in here, a toe in there. I think she started so young with me. Like, you gotta understand, she hit the charts with me when she was 9 on a record called Let's Go over in Europe. It was like number 70 or something, but still it was huge for us. And
She's
yeah, I
9.
mean,
Hello?
yeah, yeah, she was 9. And then, We Love in Puerto Rico, I think she was actually 11, turning 12 on there. And she did commercials, singing Bush stage, did national anthem. She's done things. She's still writing though. She's still writing. I think she's getting into modeling. She's getting ready to do some modeling. And she's
Yeah,
more into nursing though. I think she's kind of taking after her mom and dad a little bit. She's kind of blending both worlds. Yeah.
that's precious that she's
Yeah.
um pulling from both of you, right? Because both of
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
legacies technically now is this kid, who's now a
Absolutely.
young woman. And
Yeah.
I love that she also is figuring out her own way,
That's it.
right?
That's and that's it. I emphasize that to her. You know, even with those records, I said, now you're not obligated to do anything, but I see your passion. I think as parents, it's good to be able to discern and recognize and locate the organic passion that's in our kids.
It is. It is
Versus
good.
pushing her, yeah, versus pushing them into where we think they ought to be or should be. It matters
Very,
later
very
on.
well said. Very
Yeah,
well said. And that's a huge legacy lesson, I think, to leave.
yeah,
And not to be stereotypical, because you hear it mostly in military terms, but like
yeah,
people would be, I come from a military family. I'm expected to,
mm,
sign up. I'm expected to, and there
yeah,
would be a lot of pressures of expectations on
yeah,
our children and our future
yeah.
generations to carry on our work.
Right.
And, you know, we do want them to, I think for me, I would like my son to benefit from what I am building now. Um,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
he chooses to step into it, I'm
yeah,
happy. If he chooses not to step into it, I'm still
yeah,
happy. So, like I
yeah,
told him the other day, he's like, "Ma, I don't want to run a publishing company." I'm like, "You're not gonna run it. You're just gonna own it." At that point, it's already
right,
established. There's people
right.
in place, you know,
Exactly,
doing their
exactly.
thing.
Yeah,
And but this is my legacy to you, that I
exactly.
worked for this in my life,
Hmm.
and you know what it meant to me.
Yeah,
And I would want you to have a piece of something I greatly treasured.
yeah,
Um, and
yeah,
you understand how I feel about the importance of people carrying on their stories.
yeah.
And why would I not want you to benefit financially as well from what I have put into place in my lifetime, right? So,
Exactly, exactly,
right, even
exactly,
you, if you take that and you build your own dreams with it,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
But I'm
Yeah.
leaving this for you. So,
Hmm.
um, oh,
Yeah.
I feel you so
That's
much. And
important. Yeah, that's so essential. And one thing I left out too, she saw the entrepreneurship that you brought up. You brought up the terminology, yeah, and we're both entrepreneurs, right? And I think she paid attention to a lot of the things in the media, but privately, she wants to start her own company too. I think doing PME made her want to be her own boss, and we're kind of working on that behind the scenes with her, so she can do her own thing. You know?
that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
She's
absolutely.
uh she's
Yeah.
got a hell of an example.
Thank you.
Um,
Humble,
you know,
humble,
yeah, I
humble.
know. And then I could just imagine, like you said, your dad was so proud when this
Yeah.
chapter came out, but now, like, you've just gone. And
Oh
so,
yeah. It's funny.
what? Tell me a bit about Magnetized Media, this recent book that you
Oh,
put out with Steve Kidd. What's this book all about?
you know what? It is the secret sauce to whew, the journey. How to become a magnet and versus chasing the media and have them chasing you. You putting yourself in a position to never stop winning, right? Um, that's another book, my solo book we put out, I
Sweet.
think in December. Yeah, that went number one and that's a bestseller. And Steve finally put the fire under my feet. He said, "Dude, you've been writing on this book for like 2 years, man. You need to go ahead and put it out." And we finally did. And from there, Winning with Love, first anthology. Salute to you and a lot of the others who came before us, with spearheading their anthologies. That set up Never Stop Winning that gave me the juice, the leverage, the momentum to finally put out my solo personal growth book. 2.0 is coming this year too. Watch out for that. And then Never Stop Winning radio show in 195 countries. iHeart reached out, and that was pretty crazy. And magnetizing media, right? That was not really on my list of to do things, but I learned that you really do have to leverage opportunity. You know, what we were reading about in the book, and magnetized media is simply the internal nuances, if you will, things that I really normally don't share. It was like almost kind of like giving back thing. If you really, it's a recipe. If you really read through it, it will change your whole perspective about, doing media and having media friends, and how we became friends, what attracted. It's God, of course. God gives the increase. I'm always saying God is paramount. But
Mm-hmm.
he helps those who help themselves. And I think
Yes.
we're all magnets to a degree. I think it's just the awareness of it. And that's to kind of heighten the awareness in this book, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And still number one no release too. I think the last time I checked last night,
That's,
people,
you know,
getting value from it. That's the most important thing.
and something you said in your chapter as well in this book, you said, um, we wait for tomorrow and we're not promised tomorrow.
Yeah,
And also, opportunity only knocks for so long.
yeah,
And it's true.
that's
People
true.
say, don't let opportunities pass you by.
Yeah,
They're there. And
yeah,
I think a lot of times, I mean, and from my own personal experience,
mhm.
that growth, sometimes it's not even intentional. Like, I don't know how to explain that.
Right,
Um,
right.
Opportunity comes along and
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. And
that's true.
you start there and you actually have no idea how you're gonna go about going for this, but
Absolutely.
you go for it and
Yeah, yeah.
you pick and muddle your way through it, and then next thing you know, you're standing on the finish line.
That's
And
so true. Wow.
and you're like, all right,
Yeah,
I'm gonna take the next opportunity.
yeah.
And that's kind of how it starts. And it's kind of like a snowball effect. Then you find
It
yourself in a
is. It
place
is.
now
Yeah,
where you didn't even realize back then is where you actually wanted to be. So, like you say now, God, the
it's true.
universe
That's so
had
true.
something in store for you.
That's
And
so true.
then, like, you look back now a year and you're like,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
this is actually where I wanted to be and what I wanted to be doing. But
I'm telling you.
somebody knew this before I did. And
I'm,
now I'm standing here. Um,
yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
why I
Mhm.
love these conversations we're having
Yeah,
because they're not unique to you or I,
that's
you
true.
know, they're
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
Your media, I'm publishing. For somebody else, it's something else. Uh,
yeah.
but we're all headed where we need to go. Whether or not we're
That's so
intentionally
true.
doing it, we're all
Yeah,
headed where we need
that's
to
so
go
true.
and at the pace we need to be going at. So
Yeah, yeah.
we just
Organic.
really
Yeah,
deep, happy conversation. I started out by saying it's impossible to be around you and not just feel cool and calm. You
I like
know,
that. That's what's
you
up.
have like that effect on people, and you
Thank
make people want to smile. You make people want to just be
you.
themselves.
Thank you.
So a lot of
People.
magnetism.
Yeah, that's it. Organic magnetism. You know what I mean? Like you
Yes,
said, a lot of
absolutely.
times. Yeah,
That's
and
the other
that's
part. Like
yep, yeah.
the alignment
Alignment. Yeah,
brings about that organic
yeah,
community. And the organic community is actually what sticks. It's
I
not
like
all
that.
the flybys. Like, that's
Exactly.
not what sticks.
You're
Um,
all in the book now. See, you're all into the magnetized media book. We're sharing those concepts. You know,
oh, all right,
yeah,
all right.
yeah. It's not like
I
all
like that.
media is. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you want media that's tailor made for your brand, for your vision, for your mission, and you want it to be organic, magnetic. You know, to
Hmm.
be an organic magnet,
Yes.
and just yeah, whatever you're supposed to have, that's what you'll have.
Yeah,
But you
you're
want
right.
all of that. You want all of that, whatever God has in store. You know, when you could
Yeah.
just
I
sell
mean,
yourself short. Yeah,
there's dollars out there. I mean, if you could
yeah,
throw dollars, you could have anything you want in this world. That's the truth.
anything.
But that's not
Hmm.
what it's about. Like,
It's
you're gonna
not.
throw the dollars. Let me tell you something. The day you stop throwing the dollars, you're gonna lose
Yeah,
half of those people because that is not organic growth. That's not people that's sticking with you because they believe in
exactly.
you,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
what's coming up next for you? Do I even
Well,
want to ask that question? Do we need a whole other episode for you to tell us what's going
oh my God, movies. We have some stuff in the works. Um, they're looking at you know a lot of these smiles that you see, and once had my freedom almost taken. I almost missed seeing my daughter born. Um, I was delivered from a certain lifestyle, and it's gotten the attention of a few, directors actually, and they were waiting for it. Never Stop Winning. Actually, I don't know if you read that yet. I'm talking about some stories, and then in 2.0, we're going deeper, things I've never shared, and yeah. So what's next is more books. Um, 2.0. I don't want to give the other titles away. Three more coming up. New music. Um, a new. I'm excited. I'm particularly excited about the new music that's about breast cancer awareness, and then another record that we're dropping is for to bring awareness to child trafficking.
Sweet, 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 sweet. So much going on.
Hmm.
So one of the
That's just
things
a little bit. Yeah, that's a
you
little
see,
bit.
I knew we would need a whole other episode.
It's a
I can
lot.
see it. Like by the time we have this conversation again, it's gonna be so much more on the legacy list here. Um,
Right. You know
so
what's funny too? You know what's funny while you're getting that together? I never really set out to be an 11 times anything number one bestseller. That
I didn't set out to be a publisher either.
was not my goal. Yeah. Like one or two or three would have been okay, but like you say, we're just growing with the flow.
Yes,
So
yes,
much to say, so much of a need out here.
indeed. And one of
Yeah.
the things that I did recently is I really wanted to give back. It's been 3 months and the page hit 400 supporters. I wasn't expecting that in such a short space of time.
Hmm.
And for me, it's always been about giving back. It
Yeah.
brings things full circle, right? So, um, outside of offering, like five people who publish but not with the publishing company,
Hmm.
um, an opportunity to like get a little book trailer from me. I also decided because we're doing this every Tuesday and Thursday, that's 8 times a month, right? If it's 5 weeks, it's 10.
Oh
So I
wow.
want to be able to give one episode to a writer that's not part of the books that I've published to
That's
come
dope.
up and read. So you got a lot of other books. You are more than welcome to book in again. Bring on any one of your books that you want to read
Thank you
from.
for the invitation too. For this was
Like because that's what it's
was
about.
refreshing. Yeah,
When
thanks.
you publish and you want stories out there, it's not just about the stories you are putting out there. You want
Yeah,
all stories because all stories matter. It doesn't matter who the
I like
publisher is
that.
behind it.
I like that. All
So
stories matter. Yeah,
with plenty of time, book in again, pick the book you want to come up here and share a little bit on. You
yeah.
got 10 more books, so you could show up for us. As long as I'm doing the show, you could show up.
I got you.
All right.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Um,
it for sure. For sure.
we still have about a few minutes left to go, but I'm okay wrapping up early. But
That's
if
right.
you could give, one piece of advice, all right, um, not just to the audience, but let's say your great grandchild. Willie's not here. Willie's gone to the other side.
Uh,
You get to sit with him or her
yeah.
for a bit, spend some time. Like,
Mm.
what do you want them to know most about you, the way you lived?
Oh man, that's a good one. The first word that comes to mind is that, resilience. Allow your resilience to become your brilliance. And
Ooh, my
right,
God.
right. That what you have, and we all have brilliance in us, and that you never give up on you. Let alone your dream, but just not giving up on yourself. Leverage every moment. Take advantage of the opportunity to get to know you better, one day at a time.
I like
That's
that you
that
took
one.
it internal because
Yeah.
we live in a world that we're just bombarded with everything sensory,
Oh man.
and the
Yeah.
external has such an effect
Yeah.
on us and our choices. But we have
And
to come back to that internal,
yeah,
and that
introspection.
resilience
Resilience is brilliance,
is
right?
is gotta be here,
Yeah. It's from the
right?
inside out, right? That comes from the inside out.
And
Yeah.
you know what? That's awesome. Then I started this page called Our Bipolar Brilliance, and I love
Oh, wow.
that use of brilliance. The whole just guiding brilliant writers, and the writing is not the brilliance. The brilliance is the stories, right? The writing you can hone those skills.
Right.
The brilliance is your story because nobody else
Yeah.
has your story. I think
Yeah.
people get that. Like nobody else
Yeah.
has your story.
Nobody has your story, you know?
Exactly. And the
Yeah.
bipolar brilliance part is the same thing. Like you see, is like reaching other people and showing them you could do this. If I
Yeah.
could sit up here and be a bipolar businesswoman, you could be a bipolar anything. Okay?
Superpower. Superpower. Use
Right?
use your trauma as your superpower, you know?
Right. Willie was like, I'll write out a book, maybe two, maybe three. Did he think he'd be 11 books in? No.
No.
Right? But now look where he is. Now he's publishing.
Yeah.
You know, now he's bringing people to his story so they can go out and take the things that he's taken away from his success journey, the things that he's learned, and
Yeah.
employ them and put their own spin on it
Yeah.
and live their dreams.
That's
And
right.
that's what it's all about. The legacy is not just leaving the legacy for your loved ones, it's leaving that legacy
Yeah.
for the world.
For
The
the
world will
world.
know who Willie J was and what it's about,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Oh,
That's it. One
yeah.
moment at a time. We live in such a busy world, right? And sometimes, and you know about it. We think sometimes we kind of equate growth with that.
Hmm.
Sometimes growth is taking, getting off at the rest stop, speaking metaphorically now, and refueling, refining, resharpening, and
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
resting and possessing. It's just like, possess, possess, possess. That's what some God really had to do with me onto. It's just like, no, you don't have to keep pushing the pedal to the metal in order
Hmm.
to in order to feel like you're moving forward.
Nice. Nice, because that's it.
You
Growth,
know?
growth does not mean that you're a foot taller every year in
Exactly.
terms of personal growth.
Yep.
Like you say, growth could be lateral, growth could be
Yeah.
many different
Yeah.
ways.
Hmm.
And there's so much growth happening for me right now, not in terms of the publishing company, but as a
Yeah.
person. Like, I am not used to being by myself as much as I have been in the last 3 months.
That's
And
awesome. That's
you
growth.
know, like
That is growth.
working from home and being alone as much as I am,
Yeah.
has taught me how to be alone but not lonely.
Wow.
And I am a person, I guess,
Got you.
because of my personality and outgoing and bipolar, I feed off of other people's energy. So, like, I
Same.
always need to be around other people. And
Mhm.
thankfully, I still have, of course, my community. I have friends that I talk to or whatever. But I
Yeah.
don't really leave the house much because I'm not
Yeah.
going to the store. I'm going to spend $500. I don't need to spend. So, I'm home here. I'm chilling. I'm in my backyard. I'm whatever.
Yeah.
But you learn to be alone and happy in your own presence.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and
it.
sometimes it's just sitting there having a cup of coffee in a
Yep.
chair, just looking out onto my yard.
Yeah.
And I'm not thinking about anything. I'm in my nothing box. I'm not thinking about
That's
what I'm going to post tomorrow,
yep.
what's the next venture.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like you say, it's in those moments of pause
Yeah.
you are actually growing. You need to hit the pause button and re-energize.
That's why I
You
smile
know,
so much. I can smile so much. Yeah. Of course it's the joy of the Lord, but it's those private moments of isolation. There's healthy and unhealthy isolation, sure enough, but we're talking
for
about
real.
that. We're talking about healthy isolation where you get revelation. That's something I give over to my daughter. She's been able to harness that. She's been able to absorb that from me. I said, never, baby girl, never be afraid to be to yourself and leave the crowd. You know what I'm saying? And don't ever feel like you always need someone to be around.
That's a strong one. That's a real strong
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
You can
I,
need people,
yeah,
but you need to also know that
yeah,
you're okay with yourself when
yeah,
you're by yourself. And that took
absolutely.
me this experience
Mm,
to
wow,
learn at, my stage in life,
wow,
um, stepping away from being employed. I had to learn, like, I'm learning this now.
yeah,
And, like, you got to learn everything in its time. It's
in
not like, oh,
time.
I got to learn this. I
Yeah,
got to learn that. I got to learn this.
yeah, exactly.
When your time comes and your experience comes, that would be the time that you would learn it. So don't go chasing
Absolutely.
down the lessons. You
Yeah,
know, they find you. And
yeah,
just I have
that's it.
enjoyed this conversation so much. I know that the friends out there in the audience have really enjoyed it. There are
Yeah,
comments there for you to go back and check out.
yeah.
Definitely want you to come back, bring one of your books up. We want
Would
to
love
hear
be elated.
more about you.
Elated.
Out, yeah, outside of a themed book, right?
Yeah,
What really wants to
absolutely.
share with us. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
give me 2 secs. I want to just throw up your QR code here, guys. Go follow Willie if you're not following him on LinkedIn, please. A radio, cool deal as always. Love the T-shirt. There we go.
Thank
I
you.
gotta throw that up one more time for people that are slow with the phone, like
Thank you.
me, that text like this. All right, really, really great time. So
Same.
yeah, this is that pause too, where
Yeah.
sometimes you feel busy and you have the commitment, like, oh, I gotta do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 o'clock. But
Yeah.
that's the thing, though. This is the pause for me too.
See?
This is to stop thinking and just enjoy being.
Being and
Being.
becoming. Being. Don't
Yes.
worry about the becoming.
Yes. Yes. I know. Like I don't have questions. And
Right.
people like might ask, well, what question? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
I I have this thing with
Yeah.
just doing it. And
Yep. Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
don't frame out too much.
Yeah.
Um,
Flexibility. Yeah. That's cool. It's
all
good
right.
for peace of
Well,
mind's sake. Yeah.
it's been sweet.
That's
People
winning.
people have definitely, like I said, I'm seeing the comments coming up here. Um, you know
Thank
where
you.
to find me. I know where to harass you.
Yeah, I
Um,
appreciate you for having me too, the invitation.
of
And
course, that's the thing, right? Always rising together.
Always.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well,
Never
I'm
stop
gonna
winning, sister.
bring you off stage, and we are gonna chat soon. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
All
Looking
right.
forward to it. Thank you.
You're
Peace.
welcome. Oh. Oh my God, I had a blast. I have a blast every time. Why? Because everybody is just different. Everybody's story is different. The reasons for sharing it are different. And every single reader, needless to say, takes away something different. The best part about this show, though, is that that writer gets to read their story. It just, I don't think that, there's something with me with stories that my goosebumps keep going up every time. I say that almost on every show. I hope I never lose this passion inside of me for storytelling. I hope that I, through my shares, impart to others. Again, it is empowering, it is healing, it just opens up a whole new dimension for you, a whole new way of seeing yourself. Not even the way others see you, the way you see yourself, your abilities, um, even your things that you may not love about yourself that you want to work on. It just opens you, it's like you bearing your soul to yourself. That's what writing is like. That first experience of writing, no matter what the topic is going to make you feel like you see yourself in a way you have never seen yourself. I promise you. I'm willing to write that promise. So, another awesome episode. Go back, drop the comment, share this with people. Okay? And if you've never written before, there are opportunities. I have Legacy 2025 coming. Well, Willie is going to be like on number 33, right? So at the end of the day, give yourself that opportunity at least once in your lifetime, please, to write. Don't have to be with me. I know plenty of publishers. I'm happy to point you in different directions. Find a person that you resonate with, that you align with, that you feel is going to give your story the voice you want to give it, right? And work with that person. So we will see you on Thursday, 6 p.m., for another person behind the pen with Felipe Cofino. All right, so until Thursday, have a good couple of days, folks. Bye.